Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's wait for this to pop up. Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this 13 plus FastCast. I'm Ashley Bowerman.
I'm Corey Coates.
Yeah, we hope
Felt
you
like
all
an anchor just there. That was pretty cool.
I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yes.
We hope you're all having a wonderful Thanksgiving. We're going to kick things off first with taking a look outside.
Yeah, I mean, very Thanksgiving-like day. I don't know if that's a correct meteorological term, but I don't know. Like a little windy, a little bit of a breeze, right? You had the cloud
Yeah.
cover, mid-70s. I mean, it just felt crisp. A little bit of that wind blowing. Should be leaves. We don't really get leaves around here. Maybe if you're on Summer Haven, you get a little leaves blowing around. But felt like Thanksgiving today, and
Yeah, it
that
did.
cloud cover that you saw earlier today has now moved out of the region, leaving us with clear skies for the remainder of that night. That cloud cover, a little bit foreshadowing what could be to come, and that is this system to our northwest, producing some impressive snow in the higher elevations in the Rockies. That system delivering that snow will move down to the south by the time tomorrow night rolls around, giving some precip in higher elevation snow for a place like Flagstaff. There you go. For those ski lovers, they may get some snow Friday night into Saturday morning, where Saturday morning, say in the mid-morning, could impact more our neck of the woods in southeastern Arizona, looking to move out of the way by the time Sunday afternoon and evening rolls around, but then quickly moves out of the way and moves into the Midwest, and this is for Sunday morning into midday. Yeah, look, producing quite a bit of a snowstorm here for areas in Chicago, maybe Minneapolis, and some rain to the south of it, extending down the Mississippi Valley all the way down to Louisiana, right? So this is a time a lot of people are traveling, so in this area could be disruptive through Sunday night into Monday morning. This will now be centered over the Great Lakes, producing some higher elevation snow in the Northeast and a lot of rain all the way from northern Florida all the way up to Maine into Canada, producing snow. And then through Monday into Tuesday, this could turn into a little bit of a lake effect, just that classic lake effect snow system that we start getting November into December. So this could have some big impacts for a large swath of the country where many will be traveling from the Thanksgiving destination back home. Let's transition now to our neck of the woods and look for more rain chance possibilities in the future. This is our 6 to 10 day outlook, so that'll be this Wednesday through next Monday. And the Climate Prediction Center has pretty impressive, I'd say, somewhat significant signaling towards above average precip, especially for areas in the southeast portion of the state, which is where we're situated. So that'll be something to monitor. Again, pretty far away. You don't want to put anything too specific or deterministic on that time, but it's certainly a time frame we're looking out for. After that system moves by for us and wreaks a little havoc for areas to our east, we will really cool down. How about down to the mid-60s in Tucson, upper 60s Casa Grande. Wilcox may not even reach 60 degrees. This will be one of the coolest days of the season. A little bit warmer on Sunday, but still a pretty cool weekend on tap. And if 64 ends up being the high on Saturday, that would be the coolest day Tucson has felt since April 4th. That is 235 days away from this Saturday. But right now, a little chilly. You might be walking out, trying to maybe walk off the calories from that Thanksgiving dinner. Many are leaving the Thanksgiving dinner now heading home. It is in the low 60s, down now in Tucson, already in the 50s in Casa Grande, already in the 40s in Wilcox. Will continue to plummet all the way down to the upper 40s in Tucson, maybe not even cracking 30 in Wilcox. Those are freezing lows. If you're in that area in many valley cities to the east, like Safford, Wilcox, yeah, make sure to exercise precaution, maybe take some plants inside. And you can see, yeah, cool lows once again, and it'll be a little bit chillier tomorrow in the lower 70s in Tucson, in the mid to high 60s for many places in the east in Cochise County, like Sierra Vista, Wilcox, and Douglas. So I will add, tomorrow will be a windy day as well, signaling a change in weather systems. That early rain threat for the Tucson area will move out of the way later in the day Saturday, leaving with some cloudy conditions and partly cloudy conditions for the remainder of next week, with temperatures settling into that upper 60s, low 70s pattern. Very, very normal for this time of the year. And maybe, right, I showed you that little 6 to 10 day outlook, so that's why I have a 10%, just a 10% chance on Thursday. We'll be monitoring that time frame closely for another chance of rain, because We can never get too much rain around here.
That is right. 30% chance? That's better than 10%.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe we'll see some rain this weekend.
I will add, we can get too much rain, but at this point with the drought, we really need the rain, if I'll clarify for that.
Alrighty, hope
Yeah.
it stays
Yes.
and I hope it sticks. Corey,
yes.
thank you so much. Alrighty, where today more than 500 people attended the Salvation Army's annual Thanksgiving event here in Tucson. This was free for anyone looking for a hot meal or just a place to spend the holiday. Our 13 News reporter Shelby Slaughter spent the day at Salvation Army's Hospitality House on Main Avenue. Take a look.
Well, as you can see behind me, there's a lot of people out here enjoying this year's Thanksgiving meal under this beautiful weather. And it's all thanks to more than 100 volunteers and all of the people who donated food for this year's Thanksgiving meal.
There's no wind and rain or cold weather, so it's perfect for having people eat outside.
A perfect day for a Thanksgiving feast. Tucson City Coordinator Christopher Kim tells me by the end of the day, the Salvation Army will have served more than 700 people, plus some food for pets too. And he says it's all possible because of volunteers like Guadalupe Willera.
We believe that all year round we're blessed with food on our table, and we can give up one day to serve others.
Willerup tells me she's been volunteering with the Salvation Army for years. But this year, she brought her entire family along and says it's a Thanksgiving she will always remember.
My children get to serve others and see how some unfortunately live differently.
Kim says it's because of this that they are able to serve so many people who need a warm meal in the community, and tells me for that, he's thankful.
The volunteers, they come out of the woodwork and they want to volunteer for this. They want to serve and they want to clean up, and I don't want to do that at home, let alone these people wanting to come here. It's a wonderful opportunity for a family or just, people who are no longer having kids at home. They're able to give up their time to serve for us.
And just because Thanksgiving is wrapping up, it doesn't mean the giving stops. The Salvation Army's traditional Red Kettlebell fundraiser is going on now. All of the money raised stays here in the community and goes to events just like this. Reporting in Tucson, I'm Shelby Slaughter, 13 News.
All right, Shelby, thank you so much. Switching to another local event happening today. A lot of people were on the go today delivering Thanksgiving meals. Volunteers with Catalytic Health Partners teamed up with Bashas today. We caught up with the team as they were loading up and heading out. They delivered hundreds of Thanksgiving feasts to people in need, not just in Tucson, but throughout southern Arizona. One of those people is extra thankful after months of hardship.
We're really happy to be able to do something for others, especially first thing on Thanksgiving Day. Before we spend our time with our loved ones, it's great. It feels good to help others create the same kind of experience.
Man, it's huge. It means everything. A year and a half ago, basically, I had contracted COVID, and I was in the hospital for 3 months. Half of that was in a coma, and it's just been really hard ever since that happened. I haven't been able to work, and it's been very tough to bring any kind of food in the house.
And this is the 6th year for that Thanksgiving effort. Love to see people coming together to help those in need. Well, a family visiting Phoenix is spending the holiday at a burn center after a tragic propane tank fire. Gustavo Navarrete, his wife Reina, and their 2 young daughters were visiting friends and family in Phoenix from Mexico on September 17th. He and his wife were trying to cook tamales at a friend's apartment, which they have done for years, but the propane tank that they were using was faulty, causing an explosion. Gustavo has been treated and was released from the hospital, but his wife is still fighting in the hospital with 72% of her body covered in third-degree burns. The Arizona Burn Foundation says propane tank-related burns happen too often around Thanksgiving. The foundation recommends people have their tanks professionally inspected every year, and they said people should check for gas leaks by listening for any hissing sounds and to look for cracks or bends on pipes. We have a link to that family's GoFundMe page on KOLD.com. Well, now to a score that I know a lot of you are watching today on TV. Big game for the Wildcats, and Thanksgiving came with a helping of thrills as the Arizona men's basketball team held off Michigan State to keep their unbeaten streak alive. Final score 74-68 Wildcats, so a little bit of a close game there, but the 21st ranked Spartans gave the number 3 Wildcats a scare late in the second half. Michigan went on an 11-1 run and took the lead with less than 4 minutes to go. Arizona, however, was able to turn it around with an 11-point run of its own. Keyshawn Johnson finished with 13 points and 10 rebounds, while Caleb Love scored 17. Well, speaking of sports, what else goes with turkey besides the fixings? Well, football, of course. A Tucson neighborhood is taking the ball and running with it, and what has become a Thanksgiving Day tradition. 13 News reporter Catherine Patterson goes inside the huddle. Take a look.
When you think of a typical Thanksgiving, you probably think of a family sitting around for dinner. But on the southwest side of Tucson, they're making sure that connecting with the community is just as important. For years, Jose Miguel has known he has to earn his Thanksgiving feast with a good game of football.
It's something to do in the morning because I know the morning of Thanksgiving, it's like everyone's getting ready for food and all that stuff. My reasoning for it is I want to go out there, burn some calories before I stuff my face in the afternoon.
He goes to the Tucson Turkey Bowl to do it. Dozens of people playing the classic Thanksgiving sport to reconnect and buy some time before the big feast.
Like when we first came here, there was another, like a completely separate group of people playing here, and we were talking about sharing the field, and some of the guys knew each other from playing football in high school.
I mainly play with my brother, you know, he tells me, so I'm like, all right, yeah, well, cool, we'll go have some fun in the morning, and then later on spend time with the family.
Ready to go.
They say not only is the time together fun, but also allows for a closeness and connection that only sports can create.
A lot of people like you never met before, and you see like they might have the same liking in the same sports team or just the same sport in general, and you just get along with them.
You coming? W? No. We undefeated.
Well, the parks here will stay open for more than just football, but sports of all kinds throughout the winter and the fall. Reporting in Tucson Southwest Side, Catherine Patterson, 13 News.
All right, let's take a lot of fun out there, Catherine. Thank you for that story. Well, this is a familiar sight on Thanksgiving. The bands, the floats, and the balloons were back in the streets of New York City today for the 97th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. 25 balloons were part of this year's festivities, including newcomers Kung Fu Panda and Leo the Lizard from an upcoming Netflix movie. Thousands of New York City police were on hand on a heightened alert because of the Israel-Hamas conflict, and about 20 pro-Palestinian protesters did halt the parade for a few minutes, but police quickly arrested them. And now to the latest on the Israel-Hamas conflict. Hostages held by Hamas are set to be released tomorrow after a delay in a ceasefire between Israel and Gaza. It's now set to go into effect at 10 p.m. Tucson time. The deal was delayed a day as Israel and Hamas worked out final details. 13 hostages, who are women and children, will be released on the first day. At least 50 hostages held in Gaza are expected to be freed over the 4-day ceasefire. In exchange, Israel is expected to release 150 Palestinian women and children held in prisons. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says as part of the deal, the Red Cross will be allowed to visit the hostages not yet released. Well, before we go tonight, the world's largest Christmas lights maze opens tomorrow at select cities across the country. Take a look at your screen here. Lots of lights. It looks like fun. The Enchant Light Maze has 7 locations you can visit this year: Kansas City, Las Vegas, Milwaukee, San Jose, California, Scottsdale, Arizona, if you want to make the journey there, and St. Petersburg, Florida, as well as Washington, D.C. In Kansas City, the maze took crews 30 days to set up with 60 semi-trucks, packing 4 million lights. Well, that's certainly a way to get into the Christmas spirit. Looks like a lot of fun. Well, that is going to do it for this 13 Plus FastCast. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving surrounded by those you love. Don't shop too hard tomorrow on Black Friday. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tonight on the news at 10.